completely different to what we're normally seeing. They're bringing in that double controller, which I don't mind. I can only assume it's because Woot's going to look to be that little bit more aggressive. Although saying that, Riens is the one that's pushing up.
Curious look for Heretics. My goodness. Well, let's see how this one pans out. Haven't seen Boo on the fade in quite a while. In fact, doesn't even have that many games on it in total. Autumn has gone down right away. A few assists coming in. The fade alongside the decay from the Viper wall. And they're looking to push right in towards Heretics' position. Boo, well, he has a tracer, a rough idea of where those players are, but he can't land the shots. Luckily, the rest of the squad is there.
That lockdown of the A site with the triple push up and then leaving that Omen behind. We saw players who used to be duelists and stuff do it in the past, but Woot has sort of played every role. I can't think back to him playing Sentinel, but anything other than that, he's pretty much in the books.
You can almost say the same for good old Boo.
Yep.
Over the years, he's done whatever needs to be done. For Heretics 1-0 to start this one out in FPX, just play the classics. A very light buy for them in this round, and Heretics will be sitting back, letting them run about the map and do as they please. No control over Rubble, which is a big part of having to catch myself. A big part of Boo's gameplay is what I'd normally say, but well, he's not going to be doing that this time around. We heard from Alfier at the end of stage 2 that he's very bored of playing the same role again and again, and he wants to play everything.
But didn't Boo got controller of the year in EMEA, right?
He
so
got controller.
like,
yeah, that's true.
Oh, I'm going for Initiator now, lads. I'm going for the Initiator of Champions. Because why bother? Why bother playing the controller anymore when you've already completed it?
Yeah, completed it, mate.
Well,
got 100%.
This round should be very little. Any extra kills would be nice for FPX, and not an awful start. Managing to get those trades. Now, we haven't really talked about it as much, but the thing I love about this attack side triple controller is it means they can actually use that Viper screen for space into the B site. For Woot, he's going to be on cleanup crew. Now, any extra cost here would be a weapon dropped. They've only lost pistols so far.
Yeah, and Aya has a chance, but Woot's a little too quick. He was just the same, finding the second shot onto life, and well, with those connections, that is a 2-0 start. FPX, though, doing some damage. At the end of the day, the main
angle. It's quite a nice Viper screen, but one that you can't normally allow, and something they shouldn't have allowed is Miniboo doing that.
Well, you think that when you commit life to holding an angle, that'll be enough, but Miniboo's off to a flyer. Started the first. Rifles for the most part on the side of Team Heretics. Not that many weaknesses. Odin bought up by FPX, trying to spam down early on A, but it's converted out now for the rifle. Oh, and it's converted back, and it's converted back again. They're juggling all the way to the spawn, and it's going to be chucked away. So just the rifles carried forward. And Autumn doing work with them already. That's Boo dropped the A site, weakened a little bit, but there's still a defender here.
Benji's still around as well. Rotation already coming in from Rian, so they bolstered this A site defense, and with 3 players already committed to tree, this could be a problem. They haven't managed to get out of this spot, but Woot's going to give them the fight. In fact, Rian swings with him, and both players are dropped.
Yeah, the call was clearly made to face them together. Can't quite account for those shots landing in that fashion. FPX now only facing off against a weaker weapon in the form of Benji, and Miniboo, who has hit a few nice shots. We'll see if he can find a bit more. He's gone down the rope. He's on the site, round the corner. They're not expecting it. The angle's open. He finds his one. Nade thrown, but he has a player around the backside. It's Aya on his way, and Ayung is not even needed.
From Sentinel and plenty of other roles. And this early fight, well, fair enough, Woot. I guess you can just play a duelist initiator and everything in between.
Yeah, a man of many talents, that's for sure. A jack of all trades and a master of most as well. The Odin spray from Boo. It's stylish. I like it. A little bit of damage already, but Miniboo goes out to see if they're still there. Well, the info is at least found. Unfortunately, the advantage is lost in the meantime. Woot! Oh my goodness! 16 HP left on Berlin. 35, in fact, bit of decay in play. He's not going to be too healthy in any future fights. Thrash leading the way. B site to be cleared. I don't think it's going to find any connections. It will be recovered, though, for the post plant.
Yeah, and again, you can see those smokes already put into play. Viper screen could delay even further. That's going to be the problem of getting in on this retake, is you almost have to disrespect some of the utility that is on the FPX side, otherwise you're just never going to get a moment. Paranoia is still available for Woot, but does he use it up top? That's the real problem.
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't catch Lysor. It was used too shallow. And I believe Thrash, yeah, it's just now back online. So the chances of this round going the way of Heretics next to none, with Rienz desperately trying to escape.
Have two more. And both of them managed to catch fights on elevated duels. Again, FPX are going to challenge for this control. Maybe expecting a little bit more resistance, but it's much more passive. And the weaponry is not ideal, but if they can delay, there is a flank coming. And you have to take into consideration there is no Sentinel online for FPX.
Young's lost half his HP through a spam through the door with the Sheriffs. And a push up from C. Lots of information. Yeah, I think FPX definitely expected a bit more aggression from Heretics. Remember last round they took the space very quickly, sending life out into the open, but there was a player up top above their smoke, destroying their flash and taking a free kill on a player in the air. Now, they're much more cautious of that early aggression. Dizzy to be thrown through. Nobody caught by it. So in goes the wingman for the plant. Almost undeniable, but a potential reveal with the swings out. They hope they can convert a couple of kills, but they are kept in position, whether it be by bullets or utility. There's not much to be done on the side of Team Heretics. Just Woot and Benji left to try and clutch it all. 2 versus 5. The best they can hope for is damage.
Yeah, either that or to go down to the spike. A couple of ultimates getting relatively close. Nice shot from Benji. We know how dangerous he is with this Sheriff. Looking for a little bit more. 3 kills already. Another one comes up for Wu as well. It's now somehow left on to just Berlin. This round was looking all but done. He's been revealed. They know where he is as well. And already sending utility, but it hasn't connected. It doesn't even matter. 2 players survived. After what was every single man standing for FPX, somehow Benji and Wu have pulled off a miracle.
2v5 with given a lifeline to keep the lead early on, deny FPX the foothold on this map. The attack side left with 2. Rifles bought up. A lot of the credits are down to their last, down to the wire. We don't want to see any crazy risks taken by FPX. They've got to be cautious in this round. It was Woot that got aggressive, that tried to get up in their face. He's lost his life now. That Robo control not quite going his way, but Rienz has done well to trade it out.
I'm almost wondering how. It looked like there was a smoke down. Did he just tap a couple of bullets through it?
I think it might
he was
have
still
went
towards the A site. Maybe, it is possible, but even still, it must have just been a pixel shot that he connected. I'll be happy with that because the early aggression definitely didn't pay off. Still have a showstopper available and actually gambled back towards the C site. 3 players. Come on, Boo. Maybe a little bit lucky to be alive. He's going to fall back with the smoke shutting him off completely and that control going the way of FPX. The only problem is they don't have a mass amount of time to only be getting this control now. There's still a lot to do.
If they switch back to B, they could be in trouble. I think that's going to be the play. Usually when it's low time left, that's where teams decide to take it. The spike's certainly on its way, but the nade has kept them back, bought a little bit more time. We're down to 20 seconds, and Team Heretics now have rotated in to assist on the A site. They're ready for this push. Oh, they're just now pulling back from it, giving up that space. It looks like FPX, despite the clock being against them, will just about have enough time to get this planted.
Yeah, I don't think they mind that though. Having the lockdown available and the showstopper. In fact, the showstopper committed immediately. Maybe trying to force players back. Instead, Lysor goes forward. Gives them that advantage. Another comes up as well. Finally, Boo has managed to get a response, but it's whether or not they even want to commit the lockdown. I think at this stage, it would be, well, an oversight to put that into play. Benji, well, he pulled off an impossible clutch moments ago. This one might even have to be better, and Lysor's not going to give him the time.
Instead, he's just peeking it because they don't get contact early. They don't have the wall. They're just assuming that FPX aren't going there. So in taking the space, he loses the fight to Autumn. Not an easy player to face off against on those shift peaks. But now we're neck and neck yet again. But the problem is
information.
The Heretics only have, well, Sheriffs on most players, Tom.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't possibly do anything with those.
They should have the read, though. They've pushed up C. They put Prowlers through B. So they basically know that this is going to be that early A control. So they can stack players up here. Bit of spam from either side, but they have to be wary of a potential double back towards the B side. And with Boo already being tagged low, there is going to be a push. Well, immediately broken. And actually going to try and push it to Rienz. I was about to say, going through a snake bite would be an incredible risk in a round where it's not necessary at all.
Especially with things like this now. Orb into Young and almost a double detain. But Thrash is stopped at the last second. Mini Boo up close now. Sheriff in hand, not able to land the shots. Life whizzing right by him. as Lysor finds another. Now things are looking to be locked in for FPX. Just a few pistols left, and Skydog just going through. He ain't gonna get the kill, but as long as you do, who cares?
He has a boombot, and he is also a boombot.
He is a boombot with wings a lot of the time. He's been having his Red Bull. Well, for FPX, 4-3. Strong position, like you said, having lost the pistol, having lost a huge clutch to 2 Sheriffs. In a thrifty round. They'll find themselves in the lead early on. Team Heretics have ultimates of their own. The lockdown for Benji Fishy leaves them with a much more passive hold of C. Not in terms of utility. Alarm bot just there, revealing there's some players. But it's not like they want to hold on to this control with their lives when you've the lockdown.
I think also just FPX hadn't gone C. They waited for that showstopper. The utility is Sublime, setting up life perfectly, but the response from Boo is ridiculous. Opens the door and an oversight, it seems. No one aware of that flank. He might have used the Nightfall. I think that caught everybody, and then they just didn't hear the sound behind them. What a play from the IGL. As said, a role that we did see him play a bit last year, but as of recent, hasn't been on that initiator.
30 seconds left.
Lysor's going to get a plant, but they are close by.
Oh, they absolutely are. Lysor knows that, having already heard the Prowler go around the corner. Try to get himself a foothold inside of Tree. Here's his opportunity. That door's going to open. That's a 1v1. No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, Boo's playing it smart. If he opens the door, he gives him an avenue back into the game, back into the round. Instead, he's going to have to take down 3. Already 1 through the smoke, and the spams came close, but not close enough. There may be a hole in Mini Boo's earphones, but early fight and early success for Mini Boo. They tried to cross this one conventionally, and it's not even Woot's Rubble control that matters. The quick 1 shot to the head. Team Heretics, 4 players early on A main, now start to fill in the rest of the space. Again, they're confident to play retakes on B or C with a lockdown in play. No worries, really.
You want to fight it?
It looks like the B site retake will be necessary. Paranoia used. I expect Boo to fall back. I see him stood on the edge of that wall, though, and I'm thinking maybe he's going to go for a little nasty play. He's waiting for their aggression for sure. Viper's Pit used from the spawn. It gives them a little avenue back through, actually. They'll get very close with a lockdown in play. The players are sent tumbling back in the other direction. They almost have to fight forward for the most part. Boo's ready for them to start with, and Lysor manages to make it out, but denying this defuse could be difficult. They're going to have to find a couple of picks. With the players sneaking in inside the pit, they could already be defusing, and someone needs to get on that to check that they aren't. Pick gets dropped, shots landed by Berlin, put them in a good position. With the wall down, Benji has the line of sight on Young and lands the shot to bring it across the line. That was a chaotic round, but I have to say, I like what
is impressive. Even still, Heretics have regained the lead. Economy for both teams is on the brink here. Now you've already got Boo down to a Bulldog, and for the other side, a light shield or 2 just to pad the gap. They're the ones with the Viper's Pit in this round, and Boo, well, it's not long ago I remember him using a Nightfall to win them around. He's 1 away.
You know, last round 4 players on A from Team Heretics. They used the C's alongside the nade to deny Rubble control. They push up, taking the fight immediately on the players emerging from the spawn, deleting life. I think it was Mini Boo that did that. This time, Mini Boo's on the C site. Pushed up on Rubble a moment ago, or on Mound, to find that little bit of control, spotting out that no one's there. It's got the rotations from Heretics focused entirely on this A site. And some players are defending the site. Benji is in an absolutely disgusting position. If they come through, I doubt they clear this corner.
Oh, he's going to look for the timing, and it doesn't quite work out. At least gets a little bit of information. Now, the reason they've left this solo C site is, again, FPX have been there once, and they got killed from behind. So they haven't need to stack up on this side of the map. The late rotation, the orb going up is going to be a problem. Mini Boo playing up close, still has his nade. They haven't baited out any of this utility, and the push up from Life might try and sell the idea, but Berlin is just sat within this smoke. Rotation of the spike goes back, but he gets shot. He gets denied. Now they have to go in. They have to push in. And Rians has rotated through, dropped the spike on the ground, but he gets caught. Do they have time is the question. Running in onto the site. I think they've just about got this plant. It's going to be incredibly close and just on the nose.
That's Viper's Pit to defend the plant as well. This was down to less than a second, but now the advantage is clearly in favor of FPX. Sure, some of these players are low, but Everyone's going to be low on Heretics once they get near that spike.
Right there.
Utility. Luckily, life was dropped and he had a nade. That would have been a death sentence, but Berlin putting up a fight. 29 HP. That's his third kill of the round, and Young.
Full C takes, and there's only been one prior to that round. It's absurd because normally you see, well, the C site is a pretty hefty part of a lot of teams' game, a lot of executions, especially when you have a raise. But for FPX so far, it hasn't been a big part of the game plan. 5-5, and as I said, the economy was on the brink last round, and it stinks for Heretics in this round.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of sheriffs, a Bucky brought out by Benji Fishy. I'm not sure about that one, to be honest. And sometimes you'll see, you know, the orb up close like last round. Maybe he can get the value. No, he's going to have to do this dry. That's not an easy task for anybody. Has managed to get close, but the first shot doesn't land. The second does. A chance for a little bit more. He's dropped. But the Bucky isn't. It's recovered.
Hero Bucky.
Boo now has it in his hands. 2 bullets left, and he's out of here. Maybe a chance to reload as well.
Wonderful. He's got the skin for it at least. One of my personal favorites, but I can't say I'm expecting much from the Bucky from this point onwards. Boo does have his ult, so does Mini Boo. But I don't think they're going to want to commit them here and more with Boo already dead. The Bucky might find another player. It has. Brienz has got one, but they're in fact going to invest the Thrash. Just trying to make sure that this round doesn't fall away from them. It's still a 2v2 scenario and not the cleanest from Young, but he'll get the job done in the end.
They main control, and there's been such a different identity to this defensive side. At least in this half, with the comm switches, you can very much tell that there's a different idea behind playing these agents. And I think I'm curious to see how their attack pans out. Imagine more of a blob movement, and less variety to what we're seeing here.
Yeah, with the whole composition, they weren't running themselves the Viper, so maybe joining the norm a little bit more there. It does also mean they don't have that breach anymore, which I think was a big talking point for Rienz. Someone who's so fantastic with that supportive utility is going to have to do it in a different way. Again, we see this patient, passive FPX. I think if you watched the last map, you wouldn't have expected to hear those words come out of my mouth, but this has looked incredibly different. Happy to play into the late round, using those rotations. That counter Nightfall is definitely going to make things awkward. You maybe expected to see some spam from Boo instead. Ooh, tries to go through.
30 seconds left.
Oh, Boo's found himself one, and he's safe in the back of the site. Showstopper's good for 2. Mini Boo making a mess of this round because that's the spike on the ground, and it looks like it's only going from bad to worse for FPX. Lysor, 1 versus 4. He'll find the first, but 10 seconds, even planting this spike is impossible. And
the Woot can maybe be a bit more aggressive around those smokes.
Smoke right away has deterred the plan of Benji Fishy to put the turret down and deny any control over the mound without at least breaking it and giving away the info. Flash sent out, destroyed immediately, and look at that. Heretics pumped the brakes with a 3-man firing squad waiting for that B main aggression, and it has come through. The advantage now concretely locked in favor of the attackers, and FPX, the remaining players, Young, Autumn, and Berlin, have it all to do.
This is a tough position to try and get back from, for sure. Rienz clearly knows something that we don't, because he is fighting. Oh, wow. Autumn, maybe a bit of a nasty surprise for him. It's going to be the push through. Even still, that advantage kept. And waiting to see if there's anybody lurking around the edges of these smokes. In fact, looking like they're going to plant for the link. Instead, though, they're met by Young. This round maybe overplayed a little bit and almost caught out with utility in hand. Even still, a 3 versus 5 turned 3 versus 1. Boo has to try and turn it back again. And somehow, after such a deficit going one team's way, and for FPX after bringing things back to even in the last half, it's going to put them in a great spot. Quite a few Sheriffs invested into here for the side of Heretics, clearly believing in the power of the pistol, and I don't really blame them. Seems like Boo's still going to be playing a similar game to what we see from him when he's on the smoke, lurking on that side of the map, while for Berlin, it's a chance to potentially farm up orbs. It seems like he got a little bit lost there, though. Plant going to be tapped. I don't know if they realize the orbs are still here. And Wu wins that fight as well.
Well, you'd think I would have learned my lesson by now to stop counting heretics out when they've got pistols in play, but I'll learn one day. FPX still have a chance.
My buddy's up and away.
Easy sent far, but I don't think Wingman's going to survive too much longer. Yeah, he doesn't even get it to half. The shot from Life is nice, but they haven't dealt with the player on site. Rienz is going out for more.
What?
Oh my, what is he doing?
But for FPX, it's got to be infuriating. You finally, as I said, they broke it. They got a split pistol for once. And well, yeah, look at the economy. It's off the charts now for the side of Heretics. They're in a great place.
Yeah, but this is better than winning the pistol. Yeah, your opponents are down in the dumps, and now you get to play a round where you've been. Oh, hello. Okay, well that's not ideal. Benji's down immediately.
Cover going out.
Having been dropped now, there's I believe it's a rifle recovered by Berlin. Opportunity for FPX at least, but yeah, well, I was going to point out that Heretics can build up a lot of money because they're only against pistols, but well, they've already lost one, and now there's a rifle in the mix. Things get a little spooky.
Okay. The rifle's now on the ground, and they're going to want to try and retrieve that. Of course, the other side don't know about this. Trying to bait him into an awkward fight, but Boo's having a great time. Finally, will be put down by Ion. But even still, that time has been ticking, and the rest of the players on Heretics haven't just been sitting there. They've got into advanced positions. This post was looking good, but now they're both trapped into the corner. This could be a huge problem. LOTUS found another, and Wood's got nowhere to go, nowhere to escape. He's going to jump and just about survive, trying to do everything all on his lonesome, but he won't quite be able to. Left completely blind. It doesn't even matter just to jump at the right moment to survive. Well, I guess technically they didn't at least get that massive boost in economy. FPX, they probably would have hoped for a win, but they can take that as somewhat of a win. Heretics will reclaim the lead. Again, speaking about FPX and their ability to compete with the best, you're talking about a team that was in the previous Masters final with a sub, or I will say maybe the GOAT of all subs in Battletech, because that doesn't normally happen. Boo almost caught, but he's going to deny any further aggression. Still FPX trying to find some way in and delay. And you can see again, these double smokes, there always comes a point in the round where you have to disrespect them a little bit.
Oh, Young had an angle. The timing not quite great. They were watching as he swung out of the door. Smokes go down, but I don't think the plan is to go to the A side. It looks like the focus is instead moving towards B. Prowler clears it. They won't waste their paranoia, instead using it much deeper, stopping any re-aggression coming out of heaven. Nade pushes them back there, and the plant should now come in safely in the corner. A foothold for Team Heretics, but Life trying to take advantage of the chaos. He's gone straight in with the blast back and got 2-3, lighting them up. It's Heretics on the back foot, out of absolutely nowhere. FPX have got control, and they're starting to defuse already. They've got to go running at them to stop this, and there's no stopping what started here. What a round from Life. That is
economy built up because of the damage done in the last round. It means there's 3 rifles available, and oh, you can already see the amount of space that's already been taken by FPX.
Back and forth we go. The Team Heretics still set the sights on the C side, although Rapwell slowing them slightly. Good damage by Berlin. Those spams are deadly. And even the snake bite kill for Autumn. In comes Thrash. It's caught one, but no one's there to convert on it. Flash used up. Young has to be careful though. I don't know. Okay, they will convert the kill. And no punish. And then the swing from Boo traded out. 2 versus 1. And they could lock this round in here and now with the showstopper if they wanted to. They're just 56 HP, and that call's probably being made. Wood is low, has his ult, and Spike's right in front of him. You're right, he could take that teleport from the shadows. He'll emerge on another site, potentially. But it looks like he's going to stick the plant here and now.
Maybe realizing it's a tough win anyway, and by he should be dead to right. Did he use it just then? I feel like I thought I heard something for a second, but maybe not. I think he just got caught by Lysol. It is going to be that defusal. Well, not too much of a problem in the end. I think the only real worry was just how much Riens was able to do. It took an ultimate rotate straight away. Though aggression from either side. Life's got to be careful he doesn't get wrapped on. He does have some support. The flash is going to leave both players completely blind. Woo, under serious pressure. And while that pressure is not easing up anytime soon.
Berlin, he's playing a risky game. With just Sheriffs, Team Heretics have done this before, and the spike not down in a spot that's easy to defend for FPX. You don't want to take too many risks, although now the attackers are split. Benji's holding onto the space, presumably so the spike can come back to him. In terms of utility, Benji hasn't used up any of his, but the Prowlers are gone for Boo. If he makes his way, he's going forward with the spike. I thought he'd go back to the B site. Group up, take this one as a team, as a duo. Instead, even if he does that, he's now down to just 49 health. And Benji not found a lot of space, although I don't expect him to do much here. Just sit, wait, and cover that plant when it comes through.
I think from
30
the
seconds
side
left.
of Heretics, they were hoping somebody would make a mistake. It's arguable that Berlin tried his best, but now the patience might just pay off. Benji looks like he might be about to be greeted. There's still plenty of utility to play with, but he is going to get the fight that he wanted, and he's going to take both. Now this becomes dangerous. The Nightfall committed, but it's only going to connect onto one. Boo looking to try and fight this one, but he's run out of ammo at the last second. A very nice try, but ultimately the outcome is as expected.
Just a few bullets shy of a successful close to being online. Benji and Mini Boo, Lockdown and Showstopper. That Young on the other side after his clutch last round just won away himself. For FPX, this is a round they should have a fairly big advantage in. Benji's already tagged, lots of weaker weapons, Stingers in play, but that's where things can get chaotic, where Heretics will move quicker, more sporadically as a unit.
But they use the pin. That's the real question.
They should.
With Stingers in play, it's definitely a possibility. On the other side of things, we've immediately seen an ult to try and hold them in position, but already they're pushing back in before we've actually seen the plant. And now it has to be the fallback. Never mind, though. Life has been able to take one down. Instead, though, he's going to be caught. A worthwhile trade. Showstopper out. It should be a kill, and it will be. Miniboo trying to fight up close. That spike still yet to be planted, but plenty of time to play with. On Autumn, just holding back. That pit still available. Still possible to be put into play. And now it goes in. Miniboo, third kill of the round already. But he is traded out. And now it's the players within the pit. And Autumn's in real trouble. He's caught by Riens. It was the low weapons. It was the problem weapons. And once again, it is something that... The other side now. Oh my God. He's got two. He's got two off the back of just wall banging. And he's almost got a third. That's an insane start to the round from Boo.
There.
Mitchman's very excited.
I like this gun. Ever tell you that, Tom?
No,
I like this gun. It's a nice gun. It's a fun gun. And it's one that's given Heretics a real chance. Even up against pistols, you got to be careful. That's one thing that I've certainly learned in this series. But they have found themselves an advantage that's almost impossible to throw away. We saw the 2 versus 4 from Heretics with Sheriffs. 2 versus 5. 1 versus 5 now with 7 HP. That is
Put it in
quite
the
a
history
difference.
books.
Yeah. Get ready. Autumn's name in lights. But I think this supernova is going to be premature. It's going to fade to black. There you go. Boo with a triple kill.
Heretics have liked to do this, where their opponent pulls a pause, so they do something completely out of the ordinary. It doesn't always work, but it looks like, again, they've just completely avoided the initial control over on A, expecting that to be a counter, and just taking space elsewhere. Now, they have Nightfall. They could look to commit that into one of the sites, but it's seemingly, it's just going to be the allowment of that control to be lost, and then just hit the site elsewhere, not giving a lot of information. The only thing is Lysor, but he is isolated.
Viper's Pit C and the review till A early. You think at this point that there will be some control, especially that one-way smoke gives it away. But it doesn't look like Heretics are deterred. In fact, Boo's moving around to presumably throw over the reveal. Or perhaps not. They're just covering the B aggression alongside the turret. It'll be a slower round from Heretics with 45 seconds left. The reveal does go through, but not outside of A. He's faking this. He's making it look like it's a B hit to keep those rotations dragged in the other direction. And it's Lysor that will have the pressure on him. He's conscious they could be here, but he hasn't used the paranoia just yet. Now they're close. Now the pressure's on, but he's caught the back turn. Paranoia out. It's caught him on the right. Miniboo can't see a damn thing. And shooting at the Tracers, not quite close enough. With Life stepping up to delete Boo. This one's looking done. The lead will stay in FPX's hands as they push up to 11.
Boars are going to respond once again. Well, there is a lot more early battle this time for A, but they've got to be careful. In fact, they're looking to try and get out of there. Woot is under serious pressure. They've got to give it up, but they've taken B in response.
They're fully in. 3 players in through the B choke point, completely abandoned by FPX.
Oh, no!
That's a sloppy fight if ever I've seen one. And Ultimate's here for FPX as well. They've got a Showstopper and Thrash to get back in. They're confident in playing the retake. Nightfall is available for Team Heretics, and it may well be used, and in fact it is used right now, clearing out Heaven. There's no one there. Now they start to realize where the push is coming from. All those steps are heard, but it's because Thrash is going to lead the way. Is going to take the point of contact. The seize is good. It keeps them in position. Showstopper used, but Miniboo makes up for the disaster earlier on with Benji up top, sneaking his way up close around that corner. Is a player and coming through the smoker. 2 more. He thins out the herd and leaves time so low that FPX are running for the hills, not even escaping this.
Look, it has been like this throughout the entirety of the match. In fact, the series has gone this way. Still trying to fight for this early control of Rubble, and again, it's the same. So much utility being expended, Woot being caught by all of it. And he's going to try and get out of there. Instead, though, they try the same play. They try the same ruse, and it is not going anywhere near as well.
That's the spike down. And a flank underway, Killjoy turret down, so there's no way they even get that information. And it's double flank too. Life is here as well. There is no stopping the ball for FPX in this time.
Again, we're going to see this control fought for. It has gone the way of FPX in the majority of rounds. Boo is trying to find something in the aggressive push-up.
We open
Surely they expect it. Well, they do. That's a big kill. Berlin going down. It was a risk taken, and it was a risk that I don't know if it was worth it.
Doesn't seem so, especially with that Showstopper online for Miniboo. He's the one picking the kill, but the ult was already there. And the C site now, knowing that there's Viper utility here, they're likely to use it to open the site. That's why Autumn has fallen back so far. He doesn't want to get caught by this big old rocket. But for now, there's no intention to use it. They're going to keep it reactive. I like this. Aware that FPX would probably fall back, would probably give them the space if they use it. Instead, they take the space for free. And now there's a Showstopper for the 5v2. It's fired in blind in case there's a snake in the grass, but it looks like an overtime is already locked in. A big play needed. Young's been fantastic in so many rounds. And a spam here, my goodness, it could do a lot. But Lysor, he's conscious of a player up close.
Yeah, would reveal his position, not knowing that there was going to be an alarm bot there. He's trying to find a way through the smoke, and now, well, a 1v4 to Ace. He's been unbelievable, but this would have to be the best of them. It seems like OT is inevitable, and maybe it was from the get-go. The way this map has been going back and forth all the way, why not keep it going a little bit more? 12
orbs, perhaps a more direct approach from FPX, but I'm looking at the map and certainly doesn't seem to be the case. They're much more spread out, looking to take the control bit by bit and deny any aggression from this defensive side.
A little bit more tentative. A lot on the line. There's no easy games in this group. I think that has been proven. Going up or going down is not going to give you much easier opponent. Already pressure being placed in. Woot isn't going to be the one to find the kills. In fact, it's Rien's alongside Miniboo to do it, leaving 3 standing, but I can't count how many 3v5s we've seen so far this game, so Heretics need to make sure they don't overextend.
Well, many games in the past, I'd be counting teams out at this point or a little further, but Lesson learned. It ain't over till the pop-up comes in. 30 seconds, though. We're certainly close to the conclusion one way or another. Heretics backing off the A side as well, expecting this hit to be a massive rotation. A late play to see. Perhaps a push through their own spawn from the stairs, and they're covering all their bases, ready for these fights. Berlin can't sneak his way in, but they have at least managed to find the A site. A plant to be found.
10 seconds left.
But a 5 versus 2 retake. Team Heretics, even just trading at this point will be more than enough.
Where do you go? Where do you fight? How do you try and remove this deficit? Are you hoping for a little bit of luck? Well, there it is. Still took some damage in response. Autumn tagged a little bit lower, has Lysor alongside him, but not for much longer. With 15 HP, I think all the miracles are gone from this round. It will be Heretics to take that advantage, as they now need one more.
Around C and B, but I'm also seeing FPX pushing up on Mound. 2 players. We've seen this before from Berlin. Just in the last round they played on defense, he was alone. This time doubling up to provide that little bit of extra support. And he grabs a kill for his trouble. They were sent back and they were smoked off, but somehow he's able to land that shot for free. That's the opening that I guess is karma for the last half that they played.
Timing though is going to be everything. Miniboo, as I said, impact is all that matters at this stage, and he's found a fight into that B side, but they're not going to look to play off it. You can see on the other side, Boo is waiting for a response, waiting to see if there's a re-aggress, an attempt to try and take this fight, but for now, much more passive. And that's mainly because, again, of that A side hold. You've got the cross being held onto. Autumn's position has been revealed, and I think they're just going to have to smoke this off and maybe get him out of that corner, because that would not be a safe place to stay.
Still running into a pretty heavy setup here on C. At least the orb is down for now. It's not going to last too much longer. Those sprays are good from Berlin. That's his 3rd already. Damage done that Autumn converts on. And they're not letting it go just yet. Another
needs to be decided. Battle continues. The fight for Rubble. A continuous point. And actually a deep alarm bot being placed by Benji will mean he can keep this passive hold without needing to go for too much of a fight. In fact, all of his utility is used to that degree on B as well. You can see the turret. Now the rest look to just try and hold on to what has been a massive point of contention in Rubble.
Not the normal hold. You don't have an easy escape a lot of the time. I mean, sure, Miniboo can get out of there. He's got his blast packs. He's not on too committed of an angle. But then just take a look at Rien's. He's got no way out. The wall might help him for a moment, but okay, the spam is good. Now where does he go? He's stuck, he's naded, and hit by the snake bite too. Miniboo gets out, but the trade 1-to-1. It's not fantastic for the defensive side. Less players to defend this map now, and FPX still have the ability to take this wherever they want. The door is open. It looks like the spike is still going to the A side. They're committing. I thought this could be a fake after initial contact, but instead they're going to run heavy into 3 players from Heretics, and it's Heretics coming ahead in all the fights. Berlin left alone, 1v3 with an op.
Yeah, with an op and no shields. Like, he's got 20 seconds. He needs a miracle. He needs a mistake. I don't even think he could pull this off unless Heretics do something silly. And, wow, holding already. Benji, he's not going to repeat that. Absolutely no reason to. They could wait for him to try and grab the spike, try and plant, but they are not giving him anything. A shutdown and another chance.
When it comes to fighting, then a Cypher, for example, but I suppose it depends if the name's Runner. This is huge. The spam, though, has been dodged by FPX. This previously led to 2 players dying. This time, next to nothing. In fact, no damage, right? Walking straight into the site and finding the opening. That's life down with a good opportunity to convert the plant as well. FPX can't really deny this. They have to fight for the retake.
Well, yeah, this could be it. A man advantage. The hold from Boo. I don't know if they will have heard him taking that little bit of extra damage. Well, they definitely know now. He's revealed his position, but if anything, that could be worse for them. They're going to have to try and fight for this, try and get back in. Paranoia has been used elsewhere to try and reclaim the baby door. Lysor's going to get 1, but still the kill's going in favor of this attack side, looking to try and hold the line, and that's exactly what they're doing. Needs to be someone on this diffuser when it just isn't happening. It's left all onto Autumn. He's fought throughout this series, but I think the job is done. Time and time again, you'll see these teams fight against each other, and unfortunately, FPX fall exactly the same way.
Separated only by the overtimes. One hell of a fight put up by FPX, but Heretics, after a little break, a little rest, they've come back looking better. Even changing it up, and that's the real head scratcher. The Lotus composition, switching roles, Woot and Boo, swapping it over, bringing in Rienz on the Viper. Well, it's worked out, but only barely. This is a squad that I think we're going to see a lot from this tournament. I think you can say the same for both, though. FPX, it would be devastating to see them go out down in that lower bracket, but I think they're going to have one hell of a fight there.
Yeah, no, it's been a super impressive performance. I think especially on Bind. Like, they threw a spanner into the works, came up with a crazy composition that I think definitely caught the side of Heretics off guard, and I think that their game versus Sentinels is going to be one to watch because super impressive. But again, you talk about this Heretics squad, the youngsters led by Boo, someone who has brought a team of very inexperienced players to some crazy performances all the way throughout the year, and they're able to weather the storm